White t-shirts are essential for anyone's wardrobes, and a lot of brands offer different variations of white t-shirts. So in this video, we're going to compare some of the more popular ones and go through their pros and cons and give some recommendations on them. Before we start, let's discuss some parameters. Number one, I've actually been wearing each one of them quite extensively and washed them multiple times over the last few months. Some more than others because I've had them for a bit longer. So it's not just a first impression review. Number two is I've picked up what I think is the best available options from each brand. So for example, one of my favorite t-shirts is the Zara and Studio Nicholson collaboration, but that's a unique one-off piece and you can't buy that anymore. So I'm not going to include anything like that. Lastly, I'm only looking at products between £15 to £40 because I think £40 is the point of diminishing return for plain t-shirts, where spending more doesn't necessarily give you a better return in quality. Also, I'd be broke as if I spend thousands of pounds every time I make a video because I don't actually get paid for all this. So if you enjoy the video, then subscribe, like, comment, and share with your bros because it helps support the channel for me to make more videos. Maybe if this video gets 100,000 views, I'll do a £1,000 luxury t-shirts comparison. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the contenders. So of course, we've got some Uniqlo tees, and the first one is the Uniqlo U crewneck. For £14.90, you get a 100% cotton medium weight t-shirt. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more, you can get the Aerism tee, which is at £19.90. Aerism is kind of a fusion fabric where they've mixed a bit of cotton and polyester. It's a type of fabric that's been developed by Uniqlo and it's designed to be more breathable, lightweight and smoother to touch for the warmer weather. Now, obviously that's the claim, but whether or not people do find that, it's another matter. And then the last entry from Uniqlo is the Supima cotton t-shirt, which is also at £19.90 and it's made from 100% Supima cotton. So what makes Supima cotton special is it's a premium type of cotton grown exclusively in the United States. It's made from extra long fibers, so it's significantly stronger, softer, and finer than regular cotton. So it's kind of the luxury option from Uniqlo. Next, we got three of the more expensive ones. First one's actually from COS, which is the heavyweight, oversized, and it's at £35. It's 70% organic cotton and 30% viscose. This one feels like a premium version of the Aerism t-shirts. I think the composition wise, it is quite similar and you can see and feel the sheen of the texture to this fabric. Next is Arket. So surprisingly, this is more expensive than COS because from my perspective, I would see COS as like the premium version of the H&M group and then Arket somewhere in the middle and the H&M's at the bottom. But this one is £37 and it's made with 100% cotton at 270 GSM. And then this is the last one that's priced at above £30, which is from Uniform Standards. Now you might have noticed that this is not white.
I'm white, W-H-I-T. E.
But the reason for that is because I bought this one in maroon and I know they do sell this one in white, but I didn't really want to just go out buy another one for this video. So just pretend this was white and it's a Supima cotton t-shirt at £35. The next three, I've recently made videos about them. First one is the Bronson MFG Athletic Fit at £26. There's been discussions online on whether or not they actually make tubular loop reel designs. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a white t-shirt with no seams on the sides. And then we've also got a 9-ounce US cotton tubular tee at £20 from Bronson MFG. And then a Abercrombie & Fitch premium heavyweight slub cropped tee. It's priced at £35, but they're always on sale. So I'm gonna say this is $25.99. And then lastly, we've got the Zara basic heavyweight tee coming in at £17.99. All right, so I'm gonna tell you which one is the worst one first, because at the end of the day, I don't think you can go wrong with any of the other 9. A lot of it will just come down to personal preference. Personally, I think t-shirts from Zara in general are the worst of the affordable bunch. The stitching on these are pretty bad, so you can see it's all crooked and doesn't really line up properly. And also the trimming is really bad quality as well. So you can see where they've cut the material, they haven't even made any attempt to hide it or to blend it in with the seam. Now this one I've only washed just once, but just to compare with the Studio Nicholson and Zara t-shirt that I got last year, I'll probably wash this one about 20 to 30 times, but you can see the stitching is frailed a little bit, but it's all still in great alignment. And the trimming in general is just significantly better. It just shows that even though it's from the same brand, depending on the collaboration or how it's manufactured, it can vary quite significantly. Now, another thing I really don't like about Zara in general is their wash tag. Now, it's rough as hell and massive booklet of the wash tag. The material is scratchy and it's just nasty material that's just rubbing the side of your belly. And I just can't really stand this at all. Now, luckily you can actually take the wash tag off. It's not sewn into the seam, which is kind of a double negative because ideally with quality clothes, the wash tags do tend to be sewn into the seam. But because this is terribly made, the fact that you can take it off actually works as a benefit. I just always recommend people to check that the wash tag is removable if they were planning to buy anything from Zara. So overall, I think it's not fantastically made. It's also not the cheapest. So for that, I would say this is the worst of the bunch. So for best overall aesthetics, I think it goes to the Arcit. The oversized fit is not too exaggerated, and I think it will look good on just about anyone. The high GSM gives it that extra structure you'd want from an oversized t-shirt. And I've probably washed this one about 4 or 5 times, and the stitching on this is still perfect. So for the most trendy, obviously there's only one option here, which is the Abercrombie & Fitch cropped tee. And the thing about A&F is all they do is just crop t-shirts. Stitching wise is actually okay. I think I previously said it's not that good, but after a few wash, it's actually still in really good condition. You know, most of the stitching are aligned pretty well. The only thing I would say is the fabric. They say it's heavyweight, but it's actually quite thin. And if you were to just stretch it a little bit, you can pretty much see through it. And when you first buy it, there will be a lot of shrinkage. But once you've washed it a few times, and it's kind of as true to size, I would say it's actually pretty good. So for best value, obviously there's only one clear winner here, which is the Uniqlo U crew neck. But to be honest, I don't think you can go wrong with any of the other two from Uniqlo, depending on your preference. This is the cheapest one out of the lot, yet it has all the qualities of some of the more expensive options. This one in particular is by far the oldest t-shirt here. I think I've probably had this one for about 5 to 6 years. But it's still in great wearable condition. The collar has stained a little bit. Stitching wise, even after a few years, it's still in really good condition. The Superhuman cotton one is super soft and has more of a fitted design to it. So it's probably best as an underlayer with a shirt. And some people love the Erison. I'm not personally as big of a fan of the material, but it's still a great option. If you do ever manage to go to Asia, by the way, they're pretty much half price, without any offers. So in terms of value, I just don't think you can beat any of the offerings that Uniqlo has. But for best overall, it's a really close call because I do think the U crew neck is probably the one that I would buy the most often. But the Bronson MFG Athletic is probably the favorite one out of the lot right now. I just love heavyweight t-shirts, and with it being roughly 350 GSM, it just holds its shape really, really well. On top of that, because of the seamless design, it does add to the comfort of it. The wash tag has been moved to the bottom and around the back, which is a much better location compared to having it on the side. There is a £10 difference between this and the Uniqlo U crew neck, and I do think you're getting more than £10 in quality from this t-shirt. Now, obviously it does have a few issues like with sizing. So this one here, I'm wearing an extra large, and I've already cut down about 5 kilos since last year. So I weigh about 77, 78 right now. So if you've got a bigger frame, you might struggle to fit into even the biggest size of the Bronson MFG shirts. All right, so overall, I do think that most of these are very decent in quality, except for the Zara one. So I don't want to give them a overall ranking because there are benefits and drawbacks to each and every one of them. Realistically, within the price range of all of these, it will just come down to personal choice. If you're really into Supima cotton and premium quality material, then consider the uniform standard one. Even though you can buy a Uniqlo Supima cotton and a U crew neck for the price of one of them, the extra thickness that you get from it, I would say is almost worth it. And also the sizing, it's a little bit truer to size. So both of these are a size large, but you can see the sleeves are a little bit longer and the length is also a bit longer as well. So I do think the uniform standard Supima cotton one is better in quality and worth the added price tag. And then for the COS t-shirt, I don't think I've mentioned much about this, but I think the fit is quite similar to the Arket one. It has 30% viscose added to it, and it just gives it that extra bit of stretchiness and also overall structure and durability. So again, I do think this is another great option, much like any of these. All right, that's it for this video. Let me know if there are any other t-shirt brands that you think I should try. And thanks again for watching.